know.
Yes, sir. Continue, sir.
Okay, dear participants, shall we start again? At least one of you must say yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Before we go for the break, I was talking about the expected outcomes of education. Education in general, and then the holistic and the multidisciplinary education in particular. What do we expect from this? At the first instance, it is to achieve integrated social and academic maturity among the students. It is not only to make them good in their subject that we teach, as we discussed in the earlier session, whether we teach economics, whether we teach geography, political science, sociology, physics, chemistry, or commerce. Ultimately, it is to inculcate an attitude, a personality that is the blend of both academic and social maturity. You can understand what is academic maturity and what is social maturity. Further, it is to instill curiosity and originality in thinking. Ultimately, a graduate, a student must be able to develop curiosity about the happenings in and around him. A graduate or an educated person cannot say that let anything happen in the world, I am comfortable, my life is okay, I am happy. That's not the thing. He should have an inquisitive mind, a critical thinking, a clinical attitude towards every problem. When he thinks critically, he will understand the realities. For that purpose, first, let there be curiosity and originality in thinking. The objective of education is to make people to develop curiosity and original thinking. Followed by that, it is to make them to realize the fact that education is not confined to 2 years or 3 years duration. Lifelong learning. Lifelong learning through planning and prioritization. Prioritization, say for instance, to pass an examination, we may give the syllabus. You are concentrating on the syllabus just to pass the examination. That is the, I think Deepak has a question. Dr. Deepak TR, by looking at your raised hand, I thought you were going to ask something.
No, sir.
Thank you, Deepak. Lifelong learning through planning and prioritization. There is no end for learning, but we must prioritize what to learn now and what to learn later. This holds good even for the question that we discussed in the morning. Shall we forget our mainstream? No. For the mainstream, what is relevant? What makes our understanding of the mainstream subject more focused, more application oriented, that we can do by prioritizing and believing that learning is throughout the life. Learning should happen throughout the life. After passing the examination, we will not become complete in any subject. As teachers, we have experienced most of the things that we teach, we have learned after becoming a teacher. No? As students, we have learned only that much that was required for the examination purpose. So that learning is lifelong. Further, it is to develop flexibility and creativity in problem solving. A truly educated person with multidisciplinary knowledge is one who happens to be creative and flexible in solving any type of problem. Let it be life-related problems, profession-related problem, socio-economic related problem. He will look at it from a realistic, creative approach, and wherever it is required, need to be flexible. Followed by that, developing interpersonal skills to develop and maintain value, to develop, maintain, and value relationships. I repeat, developing interpersonal skills to develop, maintain and value relationships. Ultimately, this is what matters a lot today. Managing relations is the biggest task. If you are able to manage the relationship between the concerned people, when I say concerned people, student and teacher relationship, employee and employer relationship, government and the people's relationship, parent and the children's relationship, maintaining, developing the relationship is the biggest challenge. However educated we are, we don't know how to respect the emotions of others. The values of connectedness. I've been talking since my earlier session. Ultimately, education is to give the spirit of empathy, ability to understand the other person, and making the other person to say yes, yes to whatever I am telling. To make him to accept whatever I'm telling is not an easy joke. We must understand the spirit in which the other person may be asking something, doing something. That calls for empathy. Empathy is part of interpersonal skills. Followed by that, to practice continuous improvement and high resilience. Kaizen, you may be knowing, Kaizen is the Japanese principle, which is the philosophy of making difference or changing things for betterment. If something is good, why can't you stick on to the old things? Change it. If something is not working, change it. If it is for good, don't hesitate to change. That is what the philosophy, change for betterment and resilience. When you have changed, you will face a lot of tough competition, crisis, challenges, be resilient. And for me, followed by that, develop effective communication skills, interpersonal relations and empathy, followed by that, high quality communication must be the objective of holistic education. Say for instance, if you can simply explain the significance lunar eclipse, why it is, what it is, what is its implication on life for people, as a scientist, that will be appreciated. As a dietitian, as a food specialist, if you can tell people what is the significance of diet and what makes people to be healthier, that's a contribution. Therefore, effective communication makes things simple and easy. How simply you can reach out to people through your knowledge area. Many a time people think the subject is difficult. How can you make your subject teacher friendly, student friendly, application friendly, and student friendly? Sorry, social friendly, societal. That is what the intention. But it is easy to say, difficult to practice. We encounter a lot of challenges in the process of teaching and learning. As teachers, you might have experienced it. I have made a list of certain challenges before the academicians. The academicians are experiencing n number of old and new challenges. What are they? I tell you these challenges. If you agree with that, it is okay. Otherwise, you can pose questions that leads to discussion later on. As a teacher inside the class, you might have noticed that there is a widened gap between the education level of the students and the needs of the present society. Keep the society on one side and the education that we are giving to our students in the classrooms today. The society looks at our student as unfit, incapable, irrelevant, because the societal values are different. Societal expectations are different. Say for instance, I use the word success in the morning. If you look at the real society, what does success means? Success invariably is connected to your ability to make money. Your ability to make money is the accepted yardstick for measuring success. As a result, our students are also expected to be money-making machines by the present society because of the latest happenings in and around us. If you speak too much of ethics, too much of what shall I say, moral values, that these and all, people will think you are unfit to be in this present society. There is a wide gap. Though there is a gap, we cannot leave it like that. We must try to fill the gap by going closer to reality and being practical and realistic to the expectations of the society. How to do that? That's a challenge. The first question any parent will ask is there a scope for your subject? You are teaching economics, you are teaching sociology, anthropology, history, Kannada, Hindi, any subject for that matter. Where is the scope? What does scope means? Scope means ability to get good jobs. When I say good job, do you know the definition for a good job? What is a good job? What, Nandan? What's a good job? Good job is one, normally people believe that there is a handsome salary with less work, more responsibility, more authority, less responsibility. That's what the general belief. But we are preparing people to occupy those positions outside, which are contrary or against the standards of morality, things like that. People will say that what we learn inside of the class, is it of use in the external society? For the naked eyes, at present, it may look true, it is not relevant. But in the long run, that is what matters. We must have the patience to develop students with morality. As community with morality, that calls for a concern towards establishing a better society. So that the first and the simple challenge that I am posing before you is that there is a widened gap between education level, quality of our students. You must be knowing even today, a graduate may not have the minimum required common sense to be a responsible member of the society. You may be a high scorer in the classroom. At the same time, there are instances, students who have passed the degree may not have the common sense, the minimum required knowledge to write a letter, a request, make a request. And many a time, there is a disparity between haves and the have-nots, high quality teaching and the normal teaching in the country. It's a fact. The so-called elite and rich society is preparing for something. On the other hand, the normal society is preparing for something else. There is a classification of high quality, medium quality, low quality institutions by ourselves itself. If this is the reason, how can we establish an egalitarian, equality-based society? I think I'm reaching. Otherwise, you can pose me questions. The second challenge in front of us is that students who pay for their education are demanding value for money. Based on the fee that they pay, the quality of the education is expressed. Higher the fee, many a time people think quality must be good. Those who are paying huge fees are normally expecting value in terms of the money that they have invested. People think today expenditure on their children's education is an investment. What for you are investing? It is to make them to earn more, to repay the loan that I have made, to save little more than what I have invested. This is what the tendency. This is a challenge where we speak about ethics, morality, things like that. And followed by that, another challenge is society is investing more and has high expectation for good educational outcome. That too, in the universities and colleges, normally people make comments that the college teachers, university teachers are highly paid because of the 7th pay revision, and the UGC scales are so high. You are all rich people. For the good salary that you are getting, what you are giving back to the community? That is the question that people are posing. We need to answer these questions effectively. Followed by that, teachers are facing difficulties in handling increased size of classes with students having diverse experience, age, socio-economic status, and maturity level, cultural backgrounds, etc. Our today's classes are too big. The enrollment ratio is good. We must encourage, no doubt. But that number of qualified teachers, competent teachers are not available. As a result, every teacher is experiencing the difficulty of handling a large class. When the class is too large, the multidisciplinary approach, the multidimensional development of the students cannot be ensured because one-to-one personal contact, personal attention and caring is not possible today. Because many a time, just imagine like online teaching here, there are some good and positive and negative features of this online teaching. Just like that, for a large classroom, we speak like as if we are making a public speech. There is no personal attention, whether somebody understands it or not, whether somebody is following or not. There is no scope for doing all this. Teaching is not only concerned with covering the syllabus. It's a popular expression, no? Covering the syllabus. We need not have to cover the syllabus, we have to uncover it. We have to uncover and make the people to think beyond it. Teaching need not be to make the people to concentrate on the syllabus given. Syllabus is an outline, but they must think beyond it. To do that, there must be personal attention. We must be able to understand the students' abilities, inherent intuitive capacity, internal capacity, so that we can enlighten them to concentrate on something. There may be an excellent singer in the class, but we never gave him an opportunity to sing. There may be an excellent sportsman. There may be an excellent speaker, eloquent. There may be an excellent writer, an artist, a painter. We have not praised it. We have not encouraged them. When something that they deserve is not done, naturally, that leads to frustration, disappointment, disliking. That could be the reason for many students not to take education seriously. Right? Therefore, these challenges need to be addressed by people concerned. We are all the people concerned. As teachers, we are at the delivery point, but the government is making policies. There are senior teachers who are framing syllabus. All of us need to keep these challenges in mind in order to prepare a responsible society that survives longer. This is what the intention of this education. Further, education is for transformation. I'm the one who believes, and since morning I've been telling Mahatma Gandhi's statement, I quote, education is the most powerful means for social change. Society can be altered. The world can be altered through proper education. That proper education makes people to understand the realistic problems and come out with solutions for them. What does it include, education in total? See here, learning. The learning environment must be properly created to develop and deliver holistic education. You see, holistic education, I'm repeatedly mentioning, that is one that aims at total development, overall development, building confidence. That can happen only when learning becomes dynamic, enjoyable, motivating for students, and easy for teachers to do that. At the same time, it is concerned with the knowledge, experience, skills, ability, competency, training, and growth. All these things must be synchronized in order to make something called education. It is true that Bloom's taxonomy says education includes only three things, that is knowledge, skills, and attitude. Along with that, experience, ability, growth, competency, all these things can be inserted into this skill component or the attitude component along with knowledge. For doing that, there is a need for us to understand the present generation of students. I think you can follow me. You are following? We are all aiming at preparing them in a different level, up to a different level. What do we know about that? What do we know about that? Just out of curiosity, to make you people to speak and get involved again, if I ask a question in 1 or 2 sentences maximum, if you are asked to describe your students, how do you describe? What is your understanding of your students? Hope you got the question. If anybody asks you your opinion, your understanding of the present day students, how do you describe in 1 or 2 sentences at the most? Can you make an attempt? Please.
Marks-oriented students, sir.
Who is telling this?
Marks-oriented students.
Okay. Marks oriented. Then?
Yeah.
How about others? Students are marks oriented. Anything more? How do you describe your students in 1 or 2 sentences? Students are marks oriented. They come for marks.
Sir, my point is that nowadays students are like more. They don't want to work hard, work smart works. They
Yes,
want to use a smart work, and they are using more shortcuts. And they are not much spending time in library now because of the technological advancement and all, especially AI. When we give some work and all, they use ChatGPT kind of stuffs to generate data. So they are more smarter, sir. That is my
more
point.
smarter. I appreciate. Good. Anything more? Okay, me are
They are
listening to scoring now. Come on,
sir, I am just there.
please.
Nowadays, maximum students are interested in mobile, but they are not listen the classes. They are not interested to attend the physical classes.
They are interested in online classes, right?
Yes, sir. Mobile and all.
Yeah. That's great. Anything, your observation. Because unless you know the audience, you cannot devise your presentation. Unless you know the mass whom you are addressing, you cannot come out with a solution. The problem is that we do things without knowing to whom I am talking to, what type of input that I have. You cannot make a high quality output with the given mediocre input. I'm not to say poor quality, mediocre. But today's students, they are smart, no doubt, as you said, they are very smart. Then holistic education, total education, sometimes they will make us to understand what it is, what we are not. They look at us and make us to realize that we are not holistic, we are not total. I heard some voice, please.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
burden about the pedagogy system and assignment, C1 test, C2 test, C3 exam, so many things, internship, all are burden to students, sir.
You are so student friendly, Nandan. It's a burden to students because there is lot of work like preparing C1, C2 and all. If all these things are not there, they will be happy. Even if there is no class, they will be happy.
Happy, sir.
Yes, thank you. Anything more? I want to know more from you because you are all interacting on daily basis with the students. You know their emotions. When you know the emotions of people, communication will become effective if you devise your communication package accordingly. For that reason, any education for that matter calls for understanding the students first. Know your students. In business, we say, know your customer. Students are the ultimate customers. When I use the word customer, some people may not like. Why I'm using the word customer? In economics, we say customer is the king. But Mahatma Gandhi went to an extent to say that customer is the God. Students are our God. All our exercises are ultimately to please this God. How to please them? If we know what the God likes, we can make the God easily accept our prayers. So that let us understand, let us make a quick attempt to know what are the characteristics of the present new generation of students. At the first instance, their interpersonal skills are less developed. Interpersonal skills are skills that are required for developing interpersonal relationships. This relationship may be connected with emotional stability, soft skills, life skills in the form of conflict resolution, leadership, motivation, learning. These skills are not that properly developed among our students. Many students don't know how to communicate, how to address. You may be knowing in a mobile conversation, when they send messages, even for a teacher, they will send, hey. This has become the style. How to treat people, salutation. Interpersonal skills are not properly developed among the present generation students. This is one of the observations that I have listed based on my understanding. If there are oppositions, criticisms, comments, feel free. The second character to describe the present generation of student is that their computer skills are strong. Most of our students are well versed with computer knowledge than the teachers. Their ability to use computer is strong. Followed by that, most of them are skeptical and desensitized. They are not sensitive. If you advise them, they take it as just a comment. They don't like advice. Even as a teacher, many a time I feel advice is not working, but ultimately teacher's job is to do that. I'm the one who knows advice is something that the wise won't need and the fools won't take. If you advise too much, if you advise too much, people hate you. But still, as a teacher, that is our job. We must keep talking. We must tell the people what is right, what is wrong. But present day students, they take it mechanically. They are not very serious. Whether you appreciate them or blame them, keep on smiling. They give a beautiful smile and go and forget it. This is what the tendency that I have noticed. I don't know whether it works everywhere or not. They are good in multitasking. At a time, they can do lot many things. They pretend as if they are listening to your lecture, but working on their computers or mobile phone. Sorry. If a student is seriously sitting by keeping both his hands down, that's an indication he's working with mobile phone. Multitasking is sometimes good, just like our multidisciplinary approach. But that will take away their concentration at that point of time. I'm not to say that you should not learn all the things. Learn many things, but use it appropriately on prioritized basis. Where you have to play the video game, where you have to listen to the song, where you have to play cricket, there is a difference. But making a blend of all these things leads to confusion. And present generation of youngsters feel comfortable in challenging others. They challenge.
ಈ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅರ್ಥ ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ರಿಶ್ಚಿಯನ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಹಳೆಯ ವಸ್ತು ಯಾವುದು?
Excuse me. Present generation of students feel comfortable in challenging others. Followed by that, they have very high expectations of themselves and others. When they are doing a degree, they think that degree must give them everything. And the teacher must give them everything required for the degree. They do less from their part and expect a lot from others. Expectations are very high. And their negotiating skills are very high. Tell them anything, they negotiate. Make a little, make a little. First thing they ask, what is the syllabus for examination? What is the syllabus for C1, C2? Test. Can you reduce it? Only one chapter, last chapter, things like that. Their negotiating skills are strong. This type of people need to be prepared to face the realistic world. The world has changed a lot. It is not the same as it was 20 years back when I and you were all studying or young at age. What is the world order today? The new normal in the world is that geopolitical realignments. World has become small because of globalization. One-time enemy countries have become friends now, and the friends have become enemies now. And the operation of Industrial Revolution 4.0. You can understand what is this Industrial Revolution 4.0. Can anybody comment on that so that others can also realize? Industrial Revolution 4.0 is something connected with digitization of business and life. Industrial Revolution 4.0 is something connected with the digitization. Computerization has already happened. Now we are in the era of digital technology. Everything is digitized. Teaching, learning, notes, examination, everything has become digitized, where ethics, commitment, morality, social obligations need to be taught. New resource slump. People with too much of resources and people without resources are in large number. The gap between the haves and the have-nots has increased. And the severe global climate change. See, these are all the issues related to different faculties, but we have to address them openly because we have to live in this world. Severe global climate change. As a result, we need all-rounders today. We need all-rounder. If you are good in one act, it is not enough. You need to be good in everything. Emergence of ICT, virtual and unmanned system. ICT, information communication technology. Virtual organizations, virtual activities. Everywhere you can see the application of e-technology. As a result of that, increase in cyber insecurity. Every day, invariably in the newspaper, you will find cheating online. Who are all the people got cheated? Are they employees? They are the people who can use computers, who can use mobile phone, who can operate with the help of internet, you know. How are they got cheated? Many a time. I think the sounds are not reactions, but it makes me. Yes.
Nagabhushana sir, please mute yourself.
Madam, please mute.
Nagabhushana sir. Sir, I'm trying from here, sir, but it's not. Hello.
Yes, yes, please. As I was telling, cyber insecurity or cyber crimes are increasing in number because of the greed of the people. Greed. Somebody promises to double your money, people invest. Somebody promises to get a job, people invest. Somebody promises partnership, a life sharing. By believing all this, people got cheated. All the people who got cheated are not illiterates. They're educated ones. If their greed was not there, if the shortcut was not there for success, they would not have been cheated by somebody online. Okay. And one more thing is new power and style, leadership styles. We can see in the world new type of leaders. I'm not going to comment whether it is autocratic, democratic, even in politics, education, religious leaders, new type of leaders are emerging. That's the reality of the world. And the use of artificial intelligence has become the order of the day. Given these situations, we need to prepare our students to face these realities. Face these realities. As I said, industrial revolution has already happened. Gone are the days that what we have learned at school, that we can use at the work. Now it is lifetime learning. We must keep on learning every day. If not anything, we must make our students to accept the truth that what they know is not everything. What they have passed is not everything. There is something beyond it. Lifelong learning is the order of the day, and every day in and day out, we must think in terms of upskilling, reskilling, and lifelong learning is the future way of life. Upskilling. Your teaching methodology needs to be changed again and again. Something that is not relevant that we have to forget. Something that is relevant that we must inculcate and practice. Shortage of knowledge. We can't say that I know everything. We become redundant soon as the new things are coming into application. This is the outcome of industrial revolution. As a result of this, we need to understand that the economy and the society has also changed. I'm not going to elaborate. The economy all over the world has changed. The gap between the rural and urban lifestyles has increased. In a country like ours, where 70% of the people survive still on agriculture, 93% work in informal sector, 80% of the people live with in expenditure of less than $2 per day, 42 million people live in slums, 2 millions are homeless, and 90 millions are marginalized workers, and 1 out of 3 is below the age of 24 years. Under this situation, when we are talking to youngsters who are going to be the future leaders, we must not make them to become very narrowly focused towards their own selfish ends, selfish achievements. We must help them to connect themselves with the society. Their achievement must reflect in the achievements of the society, the nation, the world, things like that. For that, we need to speak in holistic terms. How to make the world free from war is a question now. Once upon a time, we used to speak in terms of the powerful weapons that we have. It is these weapons that are threatening the peace of the world. How to make a peaceful world? As I started talking about a world free from hunger, a world free from unemployment, hatredness. For that reason, we need to give them a overall holistic. Nothing wrong for a science student to know all this. Nothing wrong for a law student to know this. This is how we need to make things holistic. When you teach some subject, if you teach medicine, assume that you are teaching medicine, preparing doctors. Doctors should know the problem of the poor patients. If they cannot understand the problems of the poor patient, thinking that in a systematized standard manner of living, affordability is not the same for everybody. If the doctor cannot understand the question of affordability, he will not bother about the patients without buying or purchasing power. There comes the importance of holistic education. I'm not against any religion, but all religions teach us love, affection, caring. Nothing wrong if you make somebody to learn these things as a part of their studies. But we must not teach something that is irrelevant. What is relevant, only that much we can present, that much only we can give the people. If there is maturity, people will then choose what is good for their profession or otherwise. This is what I wanted to say. Followed by this, skill, skill has become the order of the day. Whatever you teach, make the people to become able to use the knowledge effectively for solving the problem. It is the ability to use one's own knowledge to solve the problem. Let it be in terms of the lifestyles, in terms of the profession or the task that they are doing, their ability to carry out a task with predetermined results within a given time and energy will build their capacity. Because education includes two things. One is character, other one is capability. Capability comes through the skill part of it. The value systems makes character, the capability part influences capacity to perform a job. That capacity will give him confidence. There are different types of skills. Precisely, I will tell you the motor skills, technical skills, interpersonal skills, social skills, analytical skills, problem solving skills, organizational and leadership skills are to be taught as a part of our holistic and multidisciplinary approach to teaching. Skills are connected with the subject that you are teaching. In chemistry, how to work in the laboratory calls for certain skills. In journalism, how to report an event calls for different skill. In political science, how to interpret a theory, how to predict the expectations of the people, opinions of the poll calls for a different type of skills. These skills are to be inculcated as a part of our educational package to the students. And needless to elaborate, you will be knowing the hard skills and the soft skills. It is the soft skills that matters a lot in terms of their ability to rise to the occasion. Hard skills are concerned with their ability to use the gadgets, the equipment, physical labor, things like that. Hard skills are related to their mental capacity. That soft skills are the cluster of personality trait, social grace, facility with the language, personal habits, friendliness, optimism that makes individuals different from others. This is what the objective of education. Education is to make an educated person different from others. Friendliness, optimism, social grace. These are all the traits that make somebody to be different in terms of his approach to solve the problem, rise to the occasion, interact with others. Therefore, personal attributes that support situational awareness and enhances an individual's ability to get a job done is called soft skills. Soft skills includes a number of skills that I am not going to elaborate. I am mentioning as a part of the holistic approach. See, we need to teach students positive attitude, assertiveness, better understanding, leadership, core values, behavioral approaches, confidence, motivation, innovation, and multitasking ability along with ambition. We must make them ambitious. To make them ambitious, we must tell them the available scope for their development and growth. These are all the things. See here, interpersonal skills, public speaking, leadership, conflict management, decision making, time management, stress management, and communication skills will contribute for the evolution or the formation of an holistic and total personality. For that purpose, we need to train our students through proper pedagogical approaches like case studies, exercises, assignments, visits to the working spot stations that contributes for the overall development of the student's personality. As I was telling, I may speak a lot philosophically, but the society expects something different. The parents also look for something different. Most of the parents say that any education that does not make competency to earn their bread and butter is not at all education. Education must help to lead a life. There comes the question of employability. In your educational package, employability cannot be forgotten. That too, these days, every institution, even the government started talking about employability of different courses. If you go by the strict guidelines of the disciplines that we are all teaching, about 80% of the courses that we are teaching in the universities and colleges are not made for preparing people to take up a job in that field. Everybody will not get a job related to what they are studying. Original objective of education was to develop a personality. It is for the dissemination of knowledge. It is to enrich the thinking capacity of the individual. It is to cultivate civilization and civilized behavior among the people. But today, the success of a course, success of a college or a university is measured on the basis of their ability to generate employable skills. That can happen only when we also concentrate on inculcating employability skills among our students. What are employability skills? Present day, the most popular employability skills that I have listed are communication and interpersonal skill. There may be very good students who do well in the examination, but they may not be able to present themselves properly. They may not be able to interact with the outsiders, strangers, people of other genders competently, confidently. We need to create opportunity for them to do such things by creating events, opportunities for people to demonstrate their hidden talents in the form of communication and interpersonal skills. Wherever it is required, we must rectify that, correct it, and mold them in the proper way. The second employability skill is problem solving skills. Problems are everywhere. People must not get afraid of the problems. For every problem, there will be a solution. And intelligent approach to the problem, understanding the problem itself, will enable to come out with a solution. We must make people to become problem solvers and not problem creators. Followed by that, we must teach them how to work under pressure and deadlines. The pressure and deadline must be fixed. Say, for instance, giving assignment to them, making them to follow the time. Time management is the most important thing. Working under pressure, nothing will born as urgent. Urgency is what that we create. Under that situation, we must learn and teach people how to manage the available time effectively and how not to cross the deadline given to them.
Starting Prof.
This
Now I changed my device.
Discipline, or followed by that organizational skills, team spirit. This is what the missing thing today. Many intelligent people will become lonely. There is a popular saying, at the top you are alone. When you become a great achiever, you will reach very high target and you are in the top of the hierarchy. When you are in the top, you will become alone as you are not mingling with others. This is an attitude that we need to build among the people, to get together, to forget whatever the designation and whatever the positions that they have reached, but not to forget other people around them. Team spirit, working together, socializing, sharing, caring is the missing thing today. That must be taught as a part of our holistic teaching inside the classroom. And ability to learn and adapt is another thing. Many a time people think that they know everything. That ego, a feeling that or a sense that I know everything, closes the mind. For a closed mind, no original or new thinking will come. There is a popular saying, human mind is like a parachute. It works only when it is open. Keep the mind open. Why I am telling this, this cannot be taught in a lecture. We must model ourselves as teachers to accept the criticisms and comments and to inculcate the new things, appreciate the new things, accept our ignorance. I may be a teacher for last 2-3 decades, but there is no rule that to say I know everything. It is not possible to know everything. When somebody says something that I don't know, I must have the open mind to accept it. As a teacher, after every class, I should think that there was something missing in my lecture. If I was able to say that, do that, present that, my lecture would have been different. Such a feeling should come to every teacher after the class. That only makes him a good teacher. That only makes him to reach to the audience effectively. To make that to happen, we must have the ability to learn continuously. Even we should make our students to know that truth. At no point I can think that I know everything. Student must get themselves adapted to the changing situation, because in the world, change is the only permanent thing. Whether you like it or not, change happens. Before the change happens to you, you must be mentally prepared to accept it properly. If you don't accept the change, forcefully, change will change you. When the change changes, it is going to be drastic. That creates an uncomfortable situation. To avoid uncomforts, we must mentally prepare. There comes the need for knowing everything. I can't say that I don't know that, I don't know this, I don't know this. Today, take any simple act like banking. Banking is not the same as it was 10 years back. Today, the internet banking, online banking, several fintech, financial technology tools have been introduced. When you go to the bank, sometimes you may feel like illiterate because of the new technology and the tendencies that are applied there. You can't close your eyes and say, I don't know all this. You have to learn. You have to think. You have to be with the trend. Same thing that we must teach our students. Why I am telling this? First, we have to do it. Remember, students normally don't listen to what the teachers say, but they imitate their teachers, knowingly or unknowingly. However old they are, aged they are, students, when you advise them, they may not respond to it properly. But what you are doing, that they imitate. So that to make our students to take us as the role model, first we need to emerge to that level of thinking. Then only we can influence them to become total type of personality that we are looking for. Then numeracy, numbers. We need to be good in numbers today. Whatever the comment that you are making, numerological presentation makes people to appreciate and reach out to them. Followed by that, working with diversity. This is another important thing that I must tell you. Diversity is the order of the nature. There are different types of people. Even in a classroom, there may be students from different background, rich, poor, students from learned families, educated families, students from illiterate families, urban, rural pockets, fast learners, slow learners, low learners, no learners. You have to concentrate on all of them. You have to keep in mind to whom you are supposed to reach. Fast learners and the genius, they don't need your support. They can do it on their own. The medium level students, they are targeting you as the source. They are looking at you as their model. You have to reach out to them. The very lower level IQ people, they cannot follow you, but you cannot neglect them. You have to reach out to them. See, this diversity is also calls for connectivity. Get connected with all sorts of people. If you think your own student is capable of teaching something new to you, take it and pass it on to somebody who don't know. It's not a shame, it is not an insult. Right? Therefore, working with the diversity makes you to learn many more things. Diversity breeds innovation. Diversity breeds dynamism. Diversity breeds challenges and solutions to those challenges. So that appreciate diversity. World is highly diversified. People are different, and people will appreciate whatever is good for them. This is how you have to look at the problem. Followed by that, negotiation skills. You need to inculcate negotiation skills among the people. First, you must be able to negotiate among yourself, within yourself. Then that skill will help to negotiate with rest of the world. That will make us to come out with high quality output for education. Keeping that in mind only, the new education policy was framed by the government. The intention is to prepare people to match themselves with the changing new world order, that is Industrial Revolution 4.0. To match with the requirements of the Industrial Revolution 4.0 and to ensure with the SDGs set by the UN for sustainable development of the world, high quality education has become the order of the day. See here, Sustainable Development Goal 4 advocates that the quality of education which seeks to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promotes lifelong learning opportunities for all. This is what the UN thought of achieving by 2030. By 2030, if at all you wish to make the world without discrimination, unemployment, ill health and things like that, education is the only and the powerful means to take out to people and to educate people to get that ability. As a result, as we are all working in the colleges and the universities, we must see to it that a student who is getting out of our colleges must worth mentioning the degree that he or she is getting. That is called graduate attributes. What are the attributes of a true graduate? A true graduate is one who have a deep knowledge of the subject in the program he or she successfully completed, and followed by that, capacity to engage in self-reflection and lifelong learning. Capacity to have the transferable skills suitable for employment. Capacity to take up social and civic responsibilities relating to environment and society. A deep understanding and respect for diversity, pluralistic society, and other cultures, respecting everybody. But that is the reason I am talking about holistic. A true graduate must be able to understand and respect the cultures of others. He must believe in pluralistic thinking, diversified living, so that respect for diversity, pluralistic society, and other cultures must be inculcated, and that should be demonstrated in the behavior of the graduate. Adherence to higher standards of ethical behavior. You can understand what is ethical behavior. Ethical behavior is one that is dependent on moral values, good and the bad, right and the wrong, good for everybody. The objective of this holistic and multidisciplinary education is to develop global citizens and global leadership. What are the qualities of global citizens and global leadership? Now, there is a need to develop socially, environmentally responsible individuals, students, executives, and leaders, and leadership and awareness of individual responsibility, which are the key in creating sustainable environment. See here, our job of Teaching in the colleges and schools is not to prepare a clerk, is not to prepare an engineer, doctor, or an accountant, or a banker. It is to prepare global citizens, that global citizenship comes out of socially committed, environmentally responsible leaders, executives, individuals. That can happen only when you make the people to have an understanding of happenings around them. That is social awareness. Needless to elaborate, social awareness means know your society. Where are you? What type of people are there? What is their lifestyle? What is the accepted pattern of living? How people lead their day-to-day life? Clear understanding. Many people are away from reality. Adaptability to situation. Whenever it is called for to be quiet, you must learn to be quiet. When you are supposed to speak, you must speak. When you are supposed to work, not to do something, you have to be like that. Rising to the occasion is the quality of an educated person. That is what adaptability to situations. Then critical thinking. We must inculcate critical thinking among our students. They must become effective decision makers and able to guide others. And ultimately, they must be problem solvers. See, the world has experienced a number of new trends, disruptive technology. Digital disruption means every day new technology is coming. What was latest yesterday, that becomes outdated today, and tomorrow it is going to be history. We cannot depend heavily on one technology and one gadget. Technology is disruptive. As a result, experiential learning has become the order of the day. Theory-based learning, mugging up, reproducing the concepts that we heard inside the class has gone. Now we must practice. Practical, experience-based learning is the order of the day. And problem solving is the most essential skill that we need to inculcate among the people. And more than anything, new set of values. Educators can inspire future innovation by turning the focus on those people who are making significant contribution to society. Social innovators should become role model for changing the world. Social innovators. Most of the great achievers of the world are not even graduates, but they are the social innovators. Somebody who worked for world peace, somebody who worked for the empowerment of women, somebody who worked for equality. Their stories are to be told. A great story of a scientist, an entrepreneur, a politician, statesman rather, can inspire youngsters to develop their overall personality. That we need to do in the days to come. That can happen only when we concentrate on building the knowledge base, the curriculum, course structure that we are developing to encompass all these things that I mentioned. That helps us to reach out to students. And believe me, it is not that easy to speak about the concept all that I said. Though it is easy, it is not that easy to practice. But we must make attempt to do as little as possible, as much as possible. That will make our objective to become achieved, if not today, after some time. Let us be in that direction. Stopping is bad. Moving in the low speed is not a curse. If you are not running, okay. But if you are not moving, it is a sin. Therefore, think of connecting your subject with the rest of the world. Don't confine to your own subject. There is a popular saying, don't mistake me, it flashed to my mind, that's why I'm telling. Many a time when we speak about teachers, people comment, primary school teachers love their students. High school teachers love their subject. And college and university teachers, they love themselves. Instead of doing that, love education as a whole. Incidentally, you are into one particular subject. Think of connecting your subject with rest of the world. And it cannot be done by a single person on a single day. make an attempt, develop interdisciplinary approach to problem solving, how unemployment can be addressed, how inequality can be addressed, how social evils like dowry system can be addressed. Elections require a lot of education for voters. How it can be related to your field and how can you do with a different background. Relate, try to connect, get connected. It is the connectivity that matters the most. In holistic approach, you must remember, as a system we work. A component gets the value only when it is along with other component. A doctor with an understanding of economics, with an understanding of philosophy, with an understanding of commerce, accountancy, can do better than a doctor without knowing that. Like a physics teacher, a chemistry teacher, an economics teacher can get connected. This cannot be done in one go by one person, but it is an attempt to build holistically. Incidentally, the government and the authorities coming out with such curricula where there is scope for multidisciplinary learning without protesting, without saying this is not related to me. They can accept it. Say, for instance, in some of the universities, there is a debate going on about the internship, debate going on open electives, what to give, why should I study this and all. It is an attempt to make people to have a broader perspective about education and the life, so that the intention is to prepare a holistic personality. Keep that in mind, prepare yourself and spread the spirit among everybody. If you have any queries, please, you can ask questions. I have spoken enough. ಯಾರೋ ಬಂದಿದ್ರ